Hey, what's going on, guys? What's happening? YouTube, you guys have tuned into Rules for Rebels. I don't know if you guys caught the video that we made earlier, but I made a video earlier today. If you missed it, I'll link to it in the description box below. But we had talked about how Apple, Google, and Facebook have all announced that they're going to require mandatory COVID-19 vaccinations for their employees. I think I forgot to mention this one in today's video, but Netflix had also announced the same thing. Not only will Netflix employees need to be vaccinated, but any actors who appear in Netflix, films, or Netflix makes their own movies, their own TV shows. Anybody that's going to be on set, including directors, makeup people, or actors, are also going to have to be vaccinated as well. And we kind of got into the discussion. This is a controversial issue, but is it right for employers to mandate that their employees get vaccinated? Is that a power that they have? Is that a power that they should have? And it's been rumored that sometime today, Joe Biden is going to announce that all federal employees, as well as all federal contractors, will need to require that the employees are vaccinated as well. Now, where this is going to get interesting is when unions are involved. So one thing that I've noticed, something going on right now across the country, and I'm in Illinois, so particularly I happen to know this Illinois, but I notice some colleges are requiring students to be vaccinated, other colleges aren't. It seems, I would say, probably overwhelmingly more are requiring students be vaccinated. But what's really interesting is, are the staff required to be vaccinated? And there are a handful of colleges where they're requiring staff to be vaccinated as well. But overwhelmingly, at least from what I've seen, the schools that are requiring students to be vaccinated are not requiring staff to be vaccinated. And you would think, if this is so dangerous, if this is such a terrible, if this is such a terrible thing, everybody's in danger, well, then it's not very safe to have employees not vaccinated interacting with students who are vaccinated. And why don't we have the same rules across the board? Well, the reason that most of these staff are exempt from vaccinations is because they're in a union. Now, here's what's interesting, right? If we can put the Constitution on hold in all other areas of our life and say, oh, it's for the greater good, don't you realize there's a global pandemic going on? Oh my God. You would think that, union rules, union contracts would also be overridden, right? Like, I realize you teachers don't want to be vaccinated. I realize you have a contract, but this is a global pandemic. It is worth overriding this contract. But no, they're saying, teachers don't need to be vaccinated. Students do, and we got to respect the contract. So it'll be interesting. This whole COVID thing has gotten very tribal. It's turned into left versus right. Obviously, unions are typically something that unions support the left and the left support unions. COVID seems to be an issue where the left is really hyped up about COVID. The right doesn't really seem to care too much about COVID. So it's going to be interesting here if unions come out kind of more on the side of freedom and protecting their workers. The left wants to take as many precautions for COVID as possible. So I'm kind of all over the place. I'm rambling, but I forget if I mentioned this earlier, but sometime this afternoon, again, it's rumored Biden is supposed to announce that federal workers are going to be required to be vaccinated, as well as contractors. Well, the American Postal Workers Union, or the APWU, issued a statement today that they are against mandatory vaccination. So here's a statement: APWU statement on mandatory vaccination for federal employees. Various media outlets have reported that the White House is considering mandatory COVID-19 vaccination as a condition of federal employment for federal employees. Maintaining the health and safety of our members is of paramount importance. While the APWU leadership continues to encourage postal workers to voluntarily get vaccinated, it is not the role of the federal government to mandate vaccinations for the employees we represent. Issues related to vaccinations and testing for COVID-19 in the workplace must be negotiated with the APWU. At this time, the APWU opposes the mandating of COVID-19 vaccinations in relation to U.S. postal workers. So, all I have to say is going to be interesting to see kind of how all this winds up shaking out in the coming weeks and the coming months. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. Per usual, go ahead and drop a comment down below. If you guys enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, click that subscribe button below, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.